This video is all about the clutch down jerk or clunk or thud. Have you ever noticed that when you press the clutch down, the car makes this horrible, well, jerk, clunk or thud? If it does, this video may help you. Firstly, I'm going to try and explain why it happens. If you struggle to understand this explanation, and I don't blame you if you do, don't worry, I'll give you a couple of methods later in the video to solve the problem, and even if you don't understand this bit, you'll be able to solve the problem anyway. So here is my best attempt at trying to explain why this happens. As you press the clutch down, it doesn't go from being fully engaged to fully disengaged immediately. There is slippage as you push it down. When it starts to slip, is not only determined by how far you press the clutch down, but is also influenced by the gas. So, if you have a lot of gas and you start to press the clutch down, your clutch will start to slip very early. You won't have to press it down much for the clutch to start to slip. But if you had no gas or very little gas, you'd have to push the clutch down a lot further before it starts to slip. And that is why the clunk happens. Because if you're changing gear and you're pressing the clutch down and coming off the gas at the same time, your clutch may start to get slippage as you have more gas, but as your gas reduces, suddenly the clutch may lock up again and you get that clunk. So that clunk you feel is basically the clutch going from slipping to suddenly not slipping, which is a similar clunk you get to when you lift the clutch up too quickly because your clutch has slippage and it suddenly has no slippage. You don't ever want your clutch to lock up suddenly. So the way to get around this is to make sure you're not varying the gas pedal as you're pressing the clutch down, to make sure as the clutch disengages, it disengages in one full swoop. Basically, it becomes disengaged and stays disengaged. You don't want to be pushing the clutch down, the clutch starts to disengage and suddenly re-engages again because of the lack of power, otherwise it's going to be a jerky ride. I hope that makes sense. It may boggle your mind that yes, as you're pressing the clutch down, your clutch can start to become disengaged and then re-engage again on the way down, but that will happen if you're changing the gas. So how do you get around this problem then? Well, don't vary the gas as you press the clutch down, but also press the clutch down as quick as you can. The quicker you're able to press the clutch down, the less chance there is of the clutch locking up against the flywheel again as you push it down. And this is where new drivers struggle. I do struggle to get a lot of new drivers, not all, but a lot of new drivers have pushed the clutch down quickly. Now when I say quickly, you shouldn't be able to say number one in the time it takes you to go from the clutch being at the top to the clutch being all the way down. It should be literally like this, down. See, can you see my foot there? You can, can't you? Look, down, very quick. It shouldn't be like this. This is how most new drivers will push the clutch down. Like that. You see that? This, I'm actually looking at the screen, not you, sorry, just so I can see my leg. Yeah, about that. That's what I'm used to seeing. The clutch comes down at about that speed, whereas an experienced driver, if you look at their leg, it will normally come down at about that speed. The next thing to consider is how do I reduce the chances of changing the gas as I push the clutch down? So you have to decide, do I come off the gas first and then clutch down? Or do I push the clutch down first and then come off the gas? Both methods are going to work because both methods mean you're not changing the gas as you press the clutch down. You're doing it either before you press the clutch down or after you press the clutch down. So the first method I'm going to talk about is coming off the gas first and then clutch down. Why would you do that? Well, it's easy, but you can't do it in all cars. This car is great for it. In this car, you can come off the gas, the car barely slows down at all, and then you can clutch down and change gear. But in some other cars, if you try to do that, you'd come off the gas and the car will slow down so much that you wouldn't actually be able to go up a gear anymore. So that makes this car quite easy to learn for new drivers because you're not teaching them a difficult method. You can teach them an easy method to begin with. And when you're learning, it's always better to start with the easy way first and build yourself up to the more challenging ways than to go straight in at the deep end, despite what some people will believe. Generally speaking, I get a lot more success if I start off the easy way. And the other method, of course, is to press the clutch down first and then come off the gas. But that's very difficult for new drivers to do most of the time. Quite often when I try to get them to do it that way, they end up doing the clutch and the gas at the same time like a seesaw, and you get the clunk that this video is trying to avoid. Or if they do manage to press the clutch down without coming off the gas, they come off the gas quite a bit later, maybe a couple of seconds later. Then the revs flare up, it goes vroom as they're still on the gas. That can also startle them and affect confidence too, which will inhibit how quickly you learn. As I say, it's always better to try and make someone feel comfortable and help them learn more quickly by doing things easy and then gradually progressing to things that are a little bit more challenging but maybe better. Of course, the main advantage of pushing the clutch down first and then coming off the gas is you can do it in any car and the car won't slow down. Well, it might slow down a little bit, as typically it does when you change up gear. Okay, you might not necessarily even slow down, maybe you just pause your acceleration, but in a manual car you're not going to be accelerating constantly. There's always going to be at least a pause or maybe a bit of a dip as you change gear, but it will be small and certainly a lot less than coming off the gas first before pressing the clutch down. So here's a way of getting good at pushing the clutch down first and then coming off the gas. Make sure the car is stationary, in a car park, at the side of the road or something, and have the engine running like it is now, so you can hear the engine. That way it will make this more realistic, and you literally just practice. So press the gas, pretend you're driving down the road, cover the clutch, and then the moment the clutch reaches the floor, off gas, like this. And just keep practicing that. It may take 10 times, 20 times, or 30 times, but either way, it's only going to take you a couple of minutes. And I'm sure if you practice it that way, you will acquire the skill and get the coordination and rhythm needed to do it gracefully. So now I'm going to demonstrate doing both methods. I'm going to come off the gas first and then clutch down. You'll be able to see my speed and my revs change as I'm doing it. And then I'll do the other method of clutch down first and then off gas. So now I'm coming, let's go. Moving away in first gear. And I'm going to change to second gear soon. So I'll come off the gas gently, clutch down, into second, clutch up carefully and add a bit of gas. And I did slow down a little bit, but in this car, not too much. And for a beginner, that's a really easy way to get started. I'll do that again. I'm going to accelerate. And now the revs are getting near 2000 RPM. I'll come off the gas, clutch down, into third, and clutch up carefully, adding a little bit of gas. I don't have to push the clutch down super fast doing it that way either, which makes it easier for a new driver to grasp. Right, next up is doing it the preferred method, the method that works in all cars and a method you should probably use as you get more experience at driving. So I'm just going to stop at the side of the road here, there's no one around, and I'm going to start in first gear. So gas, light point to go, no one's coming, and this time I'm going to try the clutch down first method. So cover the clutch, a little bit less gas. I don't keep the gas on completely when I do this. I reduce the gas to a minimal amount, then clutch down off gas, into second, and then I can bring the clutch up and add a little bit of gas. Or I can do the advanced method of blipping the throttle, which is the way I normally do it. So I'll do this again. So I'm leveling off the gas now, so I'm not accelerating or slowing down. Clutch down off gas, as I go to third, quick blip of the throttle, then I can come off the clutch quite quickly. There's a video on that somewhere in the top, I think it's the left hand corner it comes up. Oh no, top right hand corner, that's where it normally comes up. I'll link to that video as well, the upshift throttle blip. And I'll do fourth gear soon. I'm in a 40 now, so I'm just going to accelerate. And I'll accelerate a bit more quickly now, but then I reduce the gas, don't come off it completely, reduce it. Then clutch down off gas, into fourth, little blip of the throttle, and I can come off the clutch. I just want to make sure you understand how important it is that when you do the clutch down first method, not to do it whilst you're hard on the gas. Yes, it is clutch down first, but make sure you reduce the gas to a minimal amount before you press the clutch down, because if you press the clutch down with a lot of gas, you're going to cause yourself some other problems. So now I'm going to try both methods in this Vauxhall VX220 with a very old style of engine management system. In this car, if I come off the gas before I press the clutch down, it doesn't work very well, as you will see. So let's get going. First gear, moving away, and I'm going to come off the gas first before pushing the clutch down, and the car slows down quite dramatically there. It did actually slow down so dramatically it kicked. You can't just come off the gas pedal in this car. I'll do that again. Look, getting up to about 2,000, ready to change, off the gas, and it really slows down. You can hear it slow down. You can probably see me jolt forward. I'll just pull over now, let these cars that have caught up behind go past. And not only that, when the revs get to their bottom again, it cuts in and forces me along. It's quite a harsh car, so I have to be very careful with the gas pedal. I'll wait for this car to go past, and then I'll show you how I deal with it in an older style of car like this one. So I'll move away, and I'll have to do the clutch down method, or a clutch down first method. So I level off the gas, I'm not accelerating, I'm not slowing down, I'm staying the same. Clutch down, then off gas, into second, quick blip of the throttle, then I can come off the gas, or sorry, off the clutch quite easily. Again, gradually let it speed up, around gear change time now. So I'm not going any faster, I'm staying about the same speed. Clutch down, off gas, into third, quick blip of the throttle, and come off the clutch nice and easy. Once I'm into third gear, once I'm in the higher gears, it's much easier to control. I can come off the gas now, and the car does slow down, but it doesn't slow down like it did in first gear. It's more subtle. So in third gear or fourth gear and above, I could actually then use the easier method of just coming off the gas gently, clutch down, change, bring the clutch up, and then add gas. I don't even really need to do a throttle blip, because these higher gears have less torque, so you don't feel the jerks through the car as much, or barely at all. This time I'm going to show you how I would do it normally without slowing myself down and explaining what I'm doing. I won't be able to explain what I'm doing because my words can't keep up with my actions. I'll let you see me go from a standstill in neutral up to fourth gear. So let these people cross the road, and then I'll get going. Let's go. So first gear, I'm going to go to second soon, leveling off the gas, clutch down, off gas, flip of the throttle, done. So I try and talk, it slows me down a little bit, and I can't quite do it how I normally do it. This time I won't say anything, I'll do it exactly how I normally do it. Like that. There's no need to blip the throttle. That's just another technique you can use to allow you to come off the clutch more quickly. I'll go down, I'm going to slow down, get down to first gear and show you me doing this without the throttle blip, just being careful with the clutch when I lift it up after the gear change. So I'm in first gear, level off the gas, clutch down, off gas, into second, a little bit of bite point, a little bit of gas, just level them out. There we go, now I can come off the clutch completely. Reduce the gas, clutch down, off gas, into third, bring the clutch to the bite point with a little bit of gas, hold it there for a second, and then come off. That's guaranteed smoothness. Takes a little bit of time, but it is the easiest way, I think, to make sure you're smooth, especially in a car you don't know. So now I'm in a 1.6 turbo diesel Fiat 500X, and this engine is a little bit like the last one in terms it has a lot of engine braking. So when I come off the gas in this one, the car slows down really quickly. Let me show you. Let's move away now in first gear, and I'm getting up to about 10 miles an hour, 9-10 miles an hour. I come off the gas and it really does slow down very quickly, down to 5 pretty much straight away. I'll do that again, up to about 10 or more, off the gas, and yeah, straight away you feel the car chug forwards and start to slow down. So you're never going to be able to come off the gas first in this car before pressing the clutch down. In this one, again, you're going to have to level off the gas like this, hold the gas steady, or as steady as you can be. It's never going to be perfectly steady. Clutch down, off gas, into second, and then bring the clutch up carefully. You can add a little bit of gas as you bring the clutch up to stop you slowing down, or blip the throttle. The choice is yours. This time I'm going to try the seesaw method where you press the clutch down and come off the gas at the same time. The gas pedal in this turbo diesel is quite delayed, so that might be the same as just pressing the clutch down then coming off the gas, because although I'm doing it at the same time, the delay in the gas pedal means it's like I'm doing it afterwards. But I don't think that the delay is that long. We will see. I move away in first, seesaw them at the same time. No, I still got a kick there. There was still a bit of a kick because the delay isn't long enough. I'm much better off pushing the clutch down then off gas. There really isn't much time between the clutch going down and coming off the gas. The moment that clutch goes down, you do come off the gas straight away, but that solved the issue. That was smooth. I can do that again now. I've had to stop from first, gas and bite point to move away, less gas but not none, clutch down off gas and change, and then clutch up to the bite point, add a little bit of gas, and then a bit less gas, clutch down off gas, and then change. Very smooth. This time I'm going to demonstrate myself driving without words again, so you can actually see how I'll do it. I'm not going to use the throttle blip method. There really isn't much need in this car anyway. So here goes. Moving away in first, I'm going to change to second. I'm in second, going to third soon, a little bit less gas. And I say in this car, the throttle blip is not needed. You can actually just come off the gas without, come off the clutch without pressing the gas, and it's smooth because the revs take a long time to drop. I'm going to do that again, this time to fourth. Yeah, don't need any gas as I lift the clutch there. Doesn't slow down. I can get on the gas afterwards. Can't do that in all cars though. I'm trying to drive different cars in these videos to show you that different cars drive in slightly different ways. Sometimes I get comments saying, oh, that's nonsense, you don't do it that way, you do it this way, or you can't change up at 2000 RPM, because my car wouldn't like that. But how many cars do you drive? All cars drive differently, and it's important to know how your car drives and drive it to how it wants to be driven. So hopefully driving these three cars here, you see a little bit of difference between the three. They're very similar, but there are small differences, but those small differences can make a big difference to how smooth you are. Well, I hope this video helps. Please give it a thumbs up if you think it does, and check out the links in the description to Collingwood and Confused to make sure you get a great deal on insurance. Collingwood are great if you want to insure yourself on somebody else's car without affecting their policy, say if you're learning, because that takes away some of the stress and gives you an opportunity to learn outside of your driving lessons. Using the link in the description will give you a great deal, but it will also support this channel. If you're insuring your own car, Confused.com, time and time again, come out really good with prices. They come out very low, one of the best there is, sometimes the best there is, for not only new and inexperienced drivers, but I find for everyone. Again, using the link in the description does support the channel. Subscribe to get my future videos, and until the next one, cheerio.